I'm just gonna start. Welcome back to the podcast. Right now we have Who is Vi as a guest.
Hello.
So actually, if you guys want to search her up, literally her tag is Who is Vi, right?
It's who.is.vi.
Wait, okay. Did you change it, or did I just always knew it wrong?
I guess you just knew it wrong. I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay,
Like
well,
my name on everything else is Vi, but the Instagram is who.is. It's been like that
no
for like
way.
4 years. Yeah.
Isn't your bio Who is Vi?
My bio has been a binge. It's been a bunch of different things. It was Vi like Viagra, which actually Joey made up.
I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah, that was really funny. Now it's Vi and Vi Tori Dawson because I'm changing.
Trying to go back to your real name?
Yeah, I'm rebranding.
Okay, that's cool. So she just brought it up, rebranding. What we wanted to talk about, and the reason why I have you as a guest, it's because I told people that I want to make this podcast where I bring creative people or entrepreneurs. Now, entrepreneurs, I'll put them kind of together with creative people because at the end of the day, like they're working or grinding by themselves to get
of course
something done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for you, for the people that don't know who is Vi?
Oh, that's a big question. Like when someone asks you who you are, it's a really hard question. I am a singer-songwriter from Ottawa. But before I lived in Ottawa, I lived overseas in Qatar for 13 years. I grew up there. I started making music, I think I don't want to say professionally, but I started taking it seriously and actually pursuing it in, I want to say 2016, 2017-ish. So it's been a little while. That's
like 4 years, right? 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I released my first project 2 years ago. So that's also, I feel like I have different stages of starting. Like shit got real when I released my project. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the beginning, everything else, which is like prerequisite process stuff, you know?
Okay, let's go step by step. First off, you can swear. So if you just want to get it off your chest, say fuck.
Fuck, shit.
There you go. Second, I did not know about that Qatar. Like, when I just add you on Skype, I was just like, why does it say Qatar? Like, I was just like a bit confused.
Actually, that's so weird. I didn't know that you didn't know that. I feel like I tell most people. But yeah, when I was 6 months old, my family moved over. My dad was in the military for a long time. He left the military. We were in Calgary. I was born there. And then, like I said, when I was 6 months old, we moved over. And they were only planning on staying there for a few years. But then we stayed for 13. Then I moved to Ottawa when I was 13.
What? That's crazy. Yeah. 13 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long time. It was like all I knew at that point. Like when I moved to Ottawa, it was like complete culture shock. Everything is so different overseas.
Okay, give me a second. Mm-hmm. I need to run this by you. Do you have your AirPods on?
Yeah, why?
Okay, because I thought I could hear myself. So I'm not sure if like your AirPods are too high. Could that be a thing?
Maybe. I feel like my volume is like below half, but I'll turn it down more. That's fine.
Okay. Guys, the only reason why I brought that up is because on our last episode, I had to learn so much about audio editing because Joey's AirPods were, I think they're just a bit too high, or his voice memo on his computer was just so high quality that whenever
high quality.
Yeah, to the point that like when I spoke, I could hear myself a little on the background because it was catching on to the little bit that was being said on his AirPods. But it's okay. Don't worry too much.
It should be fine. I mean, this mic is a little bit sensitive, but I don't have it too. Anyway, we'll see how it goes, but
Yeah. I mean, if it just goes wrong, we'll do it again. It's always a pleasure just to talk to you. I mean, I've missed you so long.
I miss you, man. It's actually been a hot minute since I've seen you. Well, I saw you in October, but I saw you for like a few hours. So it's not the same.
Yeah, like you saw me. I think the last time we chilled, it was Bluestfest. Like literally almost around this time a year ago.
That we actually spent like a lot of time together. Yeah. Oh, a year ago? Wait, did you come to Bluesfest last year?
Yeah. I was there when you performed.
Whoa, why did I think you were in Ottawa in October?
I don't
know. I'm lost in life. Okay, so you were home in July.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's trippy. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, okay. I see.
No, trust me.
Did I see you after?
You saw me before the show, and I think a little bit after the show. I don't remember.
Honestly, I can't remember. That day was like a blur to me.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a big day.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vi, songwriter, lived in Qatar for 13 years, which I didn't know. We have terrible memories, as you can tell. And so the way we met, it was because Vi needed to do a video. Now, here's the thing. I also know this. How would you like me to call you? Because you always have been telling me to call you Tori, right?
Yeah. So you can call me Tori. Like, we're friends, real life friends. So.
Okay, sweet. Yeah. So for the people that are not your friends, it's like, no, you can refer to me as Vi, okay?
No. No, if I like meet somebody or whatever and they're talking to me, unless it's like a business something or an interview or whatever, I guess this isn't an interview. This is just like us talking.
Just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. So I introduce myself as Tori always, unless unless I need to address myself as Vi. You know what I mean? I'm not like one of those people that I'm like, I am. Anyway, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but
yeah, that's okay.
Tori. Yeah.
I mean, I've had my fair share when people ask me like, what's your name? And I'm in Canada and I tell them I go by Jesus, and people are just like, you mean Jesus? And I'm like, well, I just told you Jesus, but if you have a hearing aid, well, that's okay.
They're like, wait, did you mean to call yourself this? It's like, no, this is like my name. I told you what my name is.
I know. I didn't mean to be mean or anything. It's just that definitely it comes as a culture shock, and I always try to make a joke out of everything. Not everything. Sometimes you need to be serious when you're talking to your family and all of that. But
when you're talking to your family.
I know. I don't mean to apologize for everything that I say, but sometimes I get nervous. Now that I'm like doing this podcast, it's kind of like when you put it out, a lot of people are gonna see it, and they're gonna have a better understanding of how you talk, the way you express yourself, and how you come across. Because most of the people only see your pictures on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
Your projects, in this case, your music, and they just have this virtual picture of who you are. But I feel like when you actually see like artists and interviews, like long interviews, you're like, oh, he's funny. I didn't know he was funny. Or, damn, he's really serious and about himself. And I feel like that's also a reason why people don't want to do how do you call it, like what's keeping up with the Kardashians,
like reality shows,
exactly, because people are just afraid of how they are in real life and how people are gonna perceive them.
Yeah, dude, like when I was on the launch, like that was something I genuinely was worried about, because I feel like I can have my foot in my mouth a lot of the time and just like say, especially when I'm nervous and there's like people around you, you like black out. I don't know, when I get nervous, I black out and I feel like I have no control over my body or like my mouth.
Yeah, and
you know?
I can only imagine. Like I remember looking back at videos that I did with Joey. I'm like, oh my god, I said that. You know what? I can't take it back unless I tell him to like take down the video. But
Yeah.
you know what? Also, it's kind of something that we just need to live with. I mean, unless you're a big celebrity, you can't do that because the more you leave holes, then people are gonna poke holes, leave holes. Okay, that was so bad for me to say.
No, it's okay.
It also
Poke
didn't make
holes.
sense. If you leave things that are undone or taken care of, and then people start digging, they're gonna be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, he said something racial back then. Let's just cancel this guy." You know?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's really bad, especially nowadays. Like people are constantly digging and trying to find something to like ruin or like hurt other people, you know? Like sometimes things are set out of context as well, or you know, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't say what they mean, or they were joking, or maybe they were just like uninformed back then, but I think it really matters who you are now and what how you represent yourself now. Unless you're
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
shit person and you did say hurtful things on purpose, then you know
exactly.
it's a different situation. But yeah, I can't imagine being in a being in that position. That would be really scary and
Yeah, I know.
uncomfortable.
I know.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I mean, I don't want to, hopefully. So I think we broke the ice pretty good for this couple minutes. We got an understanding of how we met each other. You wanted to do a video, and you guys reached out to me.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to develop on you guys in a bit.
Yeah. Oh.
And people know that you are a songwriter and you got some albums out. What is it that you want to do? Like, what is your goal right now?
My goal right now is to well, basically I've been taking this year, and I am continuing to take this year as kind of my step back
Mm-hmm.
and just create the music and make my music, cuz I was stressing myself way too much before. Like I felt like I feel like I had a lot at stake when in reality I don't have that much at stake. So I was just stressing myself out. I wasn't making the music that I wanted to make. So took the step back, making it now. I finished writing my project yesterday, and um, I don't know. I just want to make music and put it out and see where it takes me. Like there isn't anything specific that I want. Like I don't want to be rich and live in a mansion, like things like that. I just want to live off my music and make music. That's literally it, you know? And like connect to people who listen to my music as well and be able to meet them.
I love that. I love that, especially because that's exactly what I wanted to showcase on this podcast. A lot of people think that so many people do it for the money or that they full of themselves or whatever. They don't actually see the struggle that it didn't came overnight. That it took
Mm-hmm.
years. It took investing into it, and that's where we're going to transition to. But I'm really glad that you just said it and it came out normally. None of this was scripted, obviously. And I'm really happy that you said that literally you finished your project yesterday. I didn't know that. I'm just hearing it first right now, and I'm really happy for that. So
Yeah.
congrats. Uh, I
I
want
mean,
to
I
get
finished the words. I didn't finish like the music and recording and everything. I just finished like the word part.
uh-huh.
So just
Well,
like yeah.
that's still an accomplishment because that means that you got a new project coming up. That's very interesting. We'll get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's take it back to the very beginning and just say, how did you start it? When was the first time that you picked up a pen and just started writing? If that ever was your first step, maybe you
Mm-hmm.
just started messing with Fruit Loops, or you talked to somebody that said that he wanted to rap. Like, how did everything started?
So I've been singing literally since I came out of the womb. Like, it's literally,
Okay.
like, since day one, I've always wanted to be a singer, even though I was not, in my opinion, very good at it. Obviously, you have to start
Uh-huh.
from ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just I've always idolized like pop stars, things like that. Like Avril Lavigne was my god when I was a kid, especially
Yeah.
living in Qatar, and she was Canadian and she was like
Uh-huh.
tomboy. Like, I honestly really related to her, and I loved her so much. So that she honestly sparked the fire in me to like to want to start singing and stuff. And my dad was a really big musical influence on me as well. So I don't know, that was kind of my love for music and singing kind of started. And then I would just like play guitar in my room, teach myself how to play guitar for the most part. And then when I moved here, especially my first year when I moved here, I didn't have like too many friends. So like I would spend my weekends like making covers and stuff in my room and
Mm-hmm.
kicking it with my dog and stuff like that. So, and then high school happened. I loved singing, but I never really wrote in high school. I feel like I didn't really have any artistic drive or
Okay.
any kind of drive at all in high school. I was kind of just like picking my nose and watching Netflix all
Yeah.
of my high school life. But I loved singing, and I worked on my voice and took voice lessons and stuff like that. But nothing too crazy happened in high school. Um, and then my first year of college, I was in a relationship. And then after that relationship, I was like really heartbroken. And then that's when I started picking up the pen. And
Okay.
then that's where Blackwater came from.
Now, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
All of this, literally from the beginning, some of it costs money. So the guitar. I'm not gonna ask you like, do you save up money for that or whatever? No,
Yeah.
more than anything, I kind of want to know when was the first time that you said, I'm gonna invest. Like, for my birthday, I want a guitar, and it's kind of because I want to learn more about it, or
Mm-hmm.
instead of like, oh, I don't want to go out today. I want to just stay at home and do all of this, and that's the reason why I ask you for the guitar so I can stay at home and do this. Like, when was
Mm-hmm.
that time that you had a little bit of a switch in your head and you said, I'm going to invest my hard-earned money or
Mm-hmm.
just ask my parents to help me buy something
Mm-hmm.
for this hobby of mine or dream
Mm-hmm.
of mine.
Yeah. Um, well, my dad bought me my first guitar when I was 6.
Okay.
So I don't know if like that's the same thing, but like I had a keyboard and a guitar and stuff when I was a small child. And then in high school,
Mm-hmm.
actually, funny enough, in high school, I asked my dad for Christmas for this microphone. Um, Obviously, in high school, I didn't have a job or like any form of income, so I would have to ask my parents for everything. When I first started investing, I honestly, especially in the early stages, I would just have to ball in a budget, and I also actually no, what was the I'm trying to think like what was the first thing I spent money on for music? It's a really hard question. I think I did like a workshop camp thing that I paid for or something. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
something along the lines of that. And then when I started recording, I would pay my friend to record me or like to track me. I'd give him like something like $50 or whatever just to track my first like demos and stuff like that. So it's hard to, I don't know, there's just like all like little small things, especially when you're broke as fuck. Like I had a really bad job at the time too, so I just
Yeah.
kind of had to rely on people helping me, and I appreciate them so much. Like one of my best friends, Alex, he tracked a lot of my demos for Blackwater, and yeah, I know I could like list off things that like I've bought and like thrown money at or whatever, but I think what matters most is that you're willing to sacrifice a part of yourself and your time for your dream and what you want. Doesn't matter like how you get there, as long as you're not stealing from somebody for it, then that's what matters. I don't know if that's a good answer, but
no, it was an amazing answer.
Thanks.
Because I really wanted to get to the specifics. Like the main goal for this podcast is literally encourage people to get to do the stuff that they want to do, because I feel like a lot of people think that maybe they got lucky or maybe they had everything and their parents will buy them whatever. But even you asking your dad for a microphone, like that doesn't mean that there's things that you didn't pay for. Like you said, you would like give him some $50 to your friend to help you out with the tracks, and also your time. Like there's literally people that would rather stay at home and just work on their own projects.
That's the difference is, you can be the richest family ever, but it's how you actually apply yourself and your time is what will actually get you somewhere. But obviously, if you have money and the resources, it is going to definitely be easier for you. Obviously, money makes a lot of things easier, but also doesn't as well. Like if you don't actually know, this is like, in this day and age, even if you don't have talent, you can still make it. Like there are so many resources and ways you can learn. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
No,
like
I get it.
Money isn't everything, yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like maybe something that you wanted to say is that, for example, money does get you stuff, but for example, I don't think it can buy you drive.
No. Oh,
it,
for
it
sure,
can,
no.
It can buy you like your childhood dream. Like, you had your childhood dream. You can't just say, I want to spend money and I want somebody to tell me what was my childhood dream. Like that's just stuff that you have, and you can't buy that. It for sure can make you comfortable, but happiness is another thing. Like you can definitely be comfortable, happy, but there's different types of happiness.
Exactly. And the thing is too is, I have gotten obviously small helps like from my parents and stuff, but nobody made this happen for me. Like I did this for myself, and I went out there and I decided to drop out of school so then I could pursue this and move to Toronto with my own money. I pay for my place by myself. Like I'm thankful for this journey that I've been on and having to work for it for myself, because it makes me appreciate it a lot more,
Exactly.
And like everything. Yeah. So anyways, I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, I'm like self-made and I did all this shit for myself. But like, it's true. I've met people that have helped me along the way. But if it didn't start with me being like, okay, I'm going to drop everything in my life to do this and sacrifice my comfort and my, you can have a conventional future, but I don't want a conventional future. I don't want to be like in an office or something at a
I getcha.
desk,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what I wanted to say is, and you might hear this on my voice, you might not notice it, but for the people that are going to be judging my podcast on me saying like, oh, okay, so like this and that, I always make those awkward pauses. I'm still getting the hang of this.
What I wanted to get,
yeah,
it's like a normal conversation. Me, I like blank out all the time. Like I don't know where I am anymore. So you're good. Don't worry.
The reason why I'm bringing it up, and I talked to you about this before we started when I told you if you could be in the podcast, is that literally this podcast doesn't have a name. This podcast is not on Spotify or SoundCloud. It's on YouTube. And it doesn't have like a branding or anything. It's just I woke up and I told my best friend I want to start doing some interviews, because I know a shit ton of cool people and they're all inspirational, and I feel like definitely they could make a huge difference if people heard their stories and how they came up. So you obviously worked for lots of your stuff, and I've seen it. I've seen like literally when you told me that you were going to Toronto, and me being in Ottawa and thinking that you were going to Toronto, I wanted to go to Toronto. That's definitely something that you have to plan. You need to have a budget. Look where you're gonna stay at. How you're gonna save up money, as in like maybe having roommates, a job there, because it's not like you're gonna have enough money to not do anything for a year or like whatever
Oh
long
my
is your
God,
lease.
no. Yeah,
No.
no.
And what I was trying to get at from this is, so there was the drive, there was the help from your family. Something that you didn't touch on is on your college. What did you study?
Actually though, like I am so thankful that I went to college the 1 year that I did. But I just at Algonquin, obviously you went to Algonquin too. So they have the big music program called Music Industry Arts. So that's this big honkin' big boy program, but I did the introduction program, which is a year. And basically what the program is to kind of sift out the people who are not going to want to do well in the big, well, actually no, that's a really negative way of like putting the program, but it's one of the aspects of it. And it's also, it kind of just prepares you a little bit for the bigger program. It's not mandatory, you don't have to do it. But so basically all it is kind of, you learn like some music history, you learn a little bit of marketing, you learn just like things about the industry. And then there's like a little bit of production. I don't know if there was any. Oh, and songwriting and performance. Those were obviously my favorite classes that we took. But with that being said, that's where I met Holly, was in college. So she, for obviously people who are listening to this podcast, Holly is like my person, like my best ass friend. Like I don't know where I'd be without her. So that's how I met Holly. And then I also met my other best friend as well. His name is Alex, and he's helped me with my music so much. We started performing together, and I've learned so much from him. He played guitar on Heart, that one song I have, and he performs with me to this day. He played on Bluestfest with me.
Okay.
So yeah, he was on guitar. And then butterfly effect to that, Alex and Holly went on to do the big program. I did not. I decided to not go to school and be a free child. And they met Adam, and Adam is my sound engineer, who's also now one of my best friends, and he is the reason why my music sounds so good. So, yay for Algonquin.
And yay for the people that stuck with it. I was gonna ask you if you wanna plug these people. Like literally, I know Holly. I mean, when I met her, I think the very first thing that we talked about is the fact that her birthday is one day apart from mine.
Yeah.
And then I've seen Adam because I was at the Bluesfest show. But what are their Instagrams, or how can they find them?
Holly's is HOLLIE Sounds. I believe that's her complete. You know what? Let me just do some due diligence and make sure that I'm actually getting people's like handles right. My memory, as we talked about earlier, is not very great.
I mean, this whole time I thought it was Who Is By.
Whatever, honestly. Who even thinks about periods and dots? Okay, yeah, so Holly is Holly Sounds, so HOLLIE SOUNDS. And she's another great singer-songwriter. She has some music coming up as well. She's like R&B type of groovy stuff. And then Adam is Carte Blanche. So
Oh, I didn't know his name was Adam. Of course, I know him through his Instagram tag. Like you guys always work.
Yeah, he's famous.
Yeah.
Duh, I'm just joking. Yeah, Carde, CARDE BLANCHE. That's Carte Blanche. And then Alex, his name's Alex Pharaoh. Alexpharoah. I still to this day don't know how to spell his last name because it's like Pharaoh, like an Egyptian, but it's spelled different, so it just messes me up. Anyway, those are my friends.
Yo, thanks for that. I'm actually gonna leave their tags and everything also on the YouTube description.
Oh, okay. You could have told me before I spelled it out the whole time.
Oh my god. I just
you could have been like, no, it's okay. I'm just gonna put it in the fucking down bar. But okay.
I just like it to be raw. I'm not gonna stop you. I didn't want it to stop you.
Thanks.
Okay. I wanted to make a connect because you said that you picked up your pen and pencil right after you got heartbroken, and you had your classes of songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
I myself tried to write songs, and I don't think I'm good at it. Like, I don't think I know the whole how to rhyme sentences. Not even a sentence. Like, I can try to do a poem, and it still feels more like a slam poem because I don't think they're rhyming. And even slam poetry does rhyme. It's just different kind of poetry. Anyways.
I mean, if you want it to rhyme, it'll rhyme. But if you don't want it to rhyme, just because like you think that your poetry is bad doesn't mean that it's not poetry.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at, because I feel like a lot of people have said that I write very good things, but it doesn't rhyme. And sometimes I'm just looking at it. It might just be that it's my second language. I literally think that it's rhyming, and they're like, "No, dude, that didn't rhyme at all." And in my head, I'm just thinking, but it sounded so good in my head.
What do you think rhyming is? Like, what is the definition of rhyming to you?
Dude, I swear to God, I know it rhymes, and when I read it out loud and slowly, I'm like, yeah, that didn't rhyme. But in my head, it's just like I'm thinking that I'm spitting like Eminem, and I'm like reading something in a way.
Of, like went.
I went away. No way. Am I back?
Okay, wait. Yeah, just give me a sec.
No, don't worry.
Okay, yeah, we're back now.
Okay, sweet. Somebody
you were
called you?
Like lagging for a hot second.
Oh, okay. That's the reason why I asked you to do your own recording recording my memo. Sorry, guys. We're having technical difficulties.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Okay, I think it's back to normal now.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, you're gonna have to re-say all of that because I didn't hear any of it.
Oh, don't worry. I was just gonna say, I feel like I'm reading it as if I was Eminem, and you know how like he reads stuff or he says stuff in a different tone so that like it sounds like it's rhyming. So that's pretty much what I always do. I'm writing it, and then I'm hearing it in my head. I'm like, yeah, that rhymes. And then when I say it out loud, I'm like, yeah, no, that didn't rhyme.
Post Malone does that too. He's like, yeah, if something doesn't really rhyme, just kind of say it in a weird ways to make it rhyme.
To make it rhyme. I need to practice on that for sure. And something that has always stopped me is the fact that I don't think I know how to songwrite. And the first thing I do is I start watching videos and everything. And by the end of the day, I wasted, or to me, I'm just like, I just spent 4 hours on YouTube and did not write anything. Have that ever happened to you?
Yes, like every day of my life, man. It's so bad. I feel like a lot of the time, if I'm trying to force myself to write or do something, I will get anxious and I'll procrastinate it completely. So I dive best into music and songwriting when I'm actually in the mood for it and I want, you feel inspired. That's the best time to do it. But when you're starting and you're trying to get better, like you kind of need to
you need to go down that loophole.
Yourself. Yeah, like you need to just like practice. Like
and
I
learn.
would write like stupid little songs when I was a kid or when I was like 13 and stuff like that, but they weren't good and I didn't stick to it and I didn't really take songwriting seriously until I was 19.
Okay. But
So,
you definitely had to go through that learning process. Like at the end of the
yeah.
day, you appreciate the fact that you went out down that loophole of watching
Mhm.
YouTube for 4 hours.
Yeah, I've spent so much of my life watching YouTube videos. Wait, are you talking about like songwriting music? Sorry, songwriting YouTube videos or just
Yeah.
like YouTube video? Oh, songwriting YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's funny you say that because a few months ago I started watching them. Like I had never watched a songwriting YouTube video before.
Okay.
Like
So
sorry, what?
I was gonna say that's very interesting. I
Mm-hmm.
thought we were talking about songwriting YouTube videos, and that's
No.
literally my main issue. I can't write because I think this is not good, and then I'm like,
Mm.
there has to be a little bit of a formula. Or sometimes I think the best thing that I should do right now is do a remix, or so like get the lyrics of a song and then just change some of the words, and then I'm like trying to get the hang of how the structure of the song is and all of that, and the bars and all that.
I mean, that's a good way to learn. Like there's no right and wrong way to learn how to write a song. That's funny. I actually used to do that with one of my friends in high school. We would like rewrite songs for like stupid things. Anyway, we're not going down that rabbit hole, but when I first started taking songwriting seriously, I just would play my guitar and kind of just sing how I was feeling and what I was going through. Tried to make them rhyme and then make them try and sound good. Some of them really don't sound good, but you
Mm-hmm.
need to have a lot of fertilizer. That's what they call it, like shit
Uh-huh.
fertilizer to grow something beautiful. It needs to, you know what I mean? You need to work at it until you, I don't know, because no one is amazing when they first start out,
Yeah.
unless they're a prodigy or some shit like that. But for the most part, everyone starts from somewhere and it's not necessarily always good. So I think also maybe trying to watch videos and try and like learn and be like, oh, how do I make a perfect song? How do I do this? You get in your head. You're like, oh well, this isn't the formula that somebody else
Exactly.
uses, but with that being said, I am reading a songwriting book right now. He's
Mm-hmm.
a professor. What's his name? Patterson or something like that. But it's basically just saying how to write better lyrics, like how
Yeah.
to, because I obviously have an understanding of how to write a song and put a song together,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just about bettering the context of the song and also trying to paint a visual picture and try and get the listener into the song. That's basically what the book is about. So I feel like you
Yeah.
kind of need to go through your own artistic process before really thinking about the technical things.
Now
You
here's the
know?
thing. You think you said something very interesting. You start playing and then you start doing the songwriting. You think somebody that doesn't know how to play an instrument can songwrite? And how would
Oh,
that work?
oh, for sure they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because the people write to beats on YouTube all the time. Like I used to write to beats on YouTube, like, but
Yeah.
I don't so much anymore. But like one of my songwriters, his name is Graydon. He helped me with basically my whole current project. And he wrote a lot on it, and he doesn't play an instrument. Now that lockdown has happened, he's teaching himself piano. But like before that, like a lot of rappers don't play instruments
Mm-hmm.
and they write songs. You
Yeah,
know?
that's actually
Yeah.
the same thing that I do whenever like I get inspired. I'm like, I'm gonna give this a crack again. And I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
go into a lo-fi song and start like going at it and writing it. So that's good. I wanted to hear that because mainly you're a songwriter. And for the people that want to be specifically songwriters, I want
Mm-hmm.
them to get encouraged and hear Okay, so I'm not like a weirdo by like literally going on lo-fi and start to write songs. No, that's what everybody's doing.
No, I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your first project that you put out? Like the first song?
The first song?
Uh-huh.
The first song ever. So it's I remade it and put it on my Blackwater project, but my first song ever, like start to finish, was Reaping.
Okay.
I put that out in 2016. Adam Carde Blanche produced it, mixed it, everything. Thinking about it, like it was not good, man. Like not good, not good.
But I mean, it was not good, and then you retouched it, and that's how it made the cut for Blackwater.
Yeah, because I mean, I liked the lyrics and I liked what I was talking about, and the song was really dear to my heart, but it was just
the music part of it.
The music part, yeah, like the melody. Basically,
Okay.
I got a new producer on it. My producer, his real name is Craig Betts, but his producer name is Travis Boythickle.
Okay.
You can put his in the box. I'm not gonna spell it out for you this time, but he produced all of my Blackwater project, and I'm like, hey, I want him to reproduce Reaping, and then we're gonna record it in the studio and just soup it up completely. And it was like a brand new song. So there we go. It lived a new life.
The project that we've talked the most is Blackwater.
Mm-hmm.
Was that your first project out?
Mm-hmm. That was my first EP, yeah.
And then is that your last one?
I had a 2-song EP or a 2-track EP.
I remember that.
It was 9 months or 7 months after. It was like later in the year that I put out. So that is the last project I put out. The last song I put out was in December 2018. And that was Caught Up. So that was the last thing that I've released. So it's been a while since I've shared anything.
Now, here's something I wanted to know. When we first met, you guys reached out to me to make a music video, and it was for Wait, which is in Blackwater. And also, I was there when you had your listening party, and that was hella cool. You gave me a shout out. I was so shy, but I still liked it. And then, I mean, you could say all of this was just a project in Ottawa. You're the kid of the many that are doing music and all of this, but definitely there was a bit of a jump. I mean, it's not that every single person that does music gets to be in Bluesfest. How did that happen? And how long was it, like in between you putting out your project and then Bluesfest?
I think the span between my project and Bluesfest must have been a year, like almost a year and a half ish. So what else? So a buddy of mine that I was working with, he was also in the music scene kind of in Ottawa, but he is more on he was helping manage his friend. His name is Andy.
Yeah.
I think his Instagram is Andy is fine. But anyway, he is the reason why I got to play at Bluesfest. He was like, oh, if you need help with your application, just let me know. I'll do it for you, whatever.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, super nice guy. It was so funny. Because we were working at Red Lobster together.
You and Andy?
Yeah, me and Andy were working at Red Lobster together. His first day, or with the first day we worked together, because I had been working there for probably around almost 2 years at this time. I walk in and I go into the dish pit. He was a dishwasher. He looks at me and we look at each other and he goes, "Are you Vi?" And to be in your workplace and somebody ask you that, you're just yeah, I am. He's like, "Oh my God, I love your music, blah, blah, blah," all that stuff. Yeah, it
That's
was super
crazy.
weird. Yeah, it was super weird. I'm like, oh, okay. But then I found out that who he was and like who he knew, and that he was actually like talking to my manager and stuff like that at the time. So it was just a really weird coincidence that we started working together. And yeah, he was just a super nice guy, and he just wanted to help out. And so he did my Bluesfest application for me, like super nice. So he did that for me. But like, I don't know how I got to be on the same stage as Backstreet Boys. I don't
Yeah.
really know who made that decision or why they put me there. Like, I don't know, but I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, of course. So how does Andy like know about Bluesfest? Was he working for Bluesfest or was he performing or?
No, no, no. Like, anybody can apply to for Bluesfest.
So how did he had like the experience or
Because he was
so?
managing one of his best friends.
Oh, I see, I see, I see.
So
And
he was
who's
just kind of
this?
savvy with that.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
And then what came first? You being on TV for the launch
hmm
or Bluesfest?
I was on TV first, but I had been accepted into Bluesfest before the launch was announced. I think.
Okay.
I think.
How
Or
did
I
the
had.
launch happen?
So I got scouted for the launch. Um,
Amazing.
but because honestly, this like the casting team are like FBI agents. Like, they go deep into like small artists. Like, it's actually crazy the amount of work that they put in.
Yeah.
But they originally asked me in 2017 for the season 1. They contacted me when I had only one song out. They messaged me, asked me to apply. I applied, and then I decided like it wasn't the right time for me to do it. I'm like, and also reality TV is kind of, it's not really
Yeah.
for me. It's not my vibe, but
Everybody has a strong comments about reality TV.
right? Yeah, like we were
Yeah.
saying before. So I decided it wasn't for me, and I didn't really know what the show was gonna be like, whatever. But then they asked me again, or they asked me to apply the year after. I applied again, went through the process, um, and then I was on TV, and all that weird shit happened.
Now, here's the thing. What do you think made it happen? Was it like how your Spotify was set up, how many viewers and listeners you had, or what do you think made it to them to like reach out to you?
Well, when they first reached out to me, I only had one song out, and it wasn't even like I had the numbers that I have now at all. So they literally just found me. I think I must have been. I think I was on a blog. I think I was on Hip Hop Canada, and I think that's how the one girl
Ah, I see.
found me. Yeah, I
Okay.
think
What
because
song was
it was Fool's Gold.
Fool's Gold? I remember that there was a remix too. I
Yeah.
feel like that's how it got traction like internationally because the was from Australia or something like that, right?
No, he's from Brighton, I think, or England. Like,
England. Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Uh,
he's from Brighton. Honestly, I could be wrong. It sounds really bad, but I'm not too sure what city he's from anymore.
what kind of music do you make? Because we've been talking about your whole career and everything, but how could you describe yourself? The first thing, and I'm not gonna say names, but the first thing somebody ever told me of you, it was, she sounds like a much darker version of Lana Del Rey.
That's so really. Well,
Yeah.
she's like one of my influences, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Like Lana Del Rey, Banks. Banks is probably like my current idol. Lana and Banks are the two really big ones. I really like Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, Jessie J,
Yeah.
all those people. And I know there's like way too many influences to even like list
Yeah.
off, but I would say my genre is like dark pop, alternative, kind of trap R&B. I don't know. I feel
And
like
how can
I
people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at who.is.vi, and Spotify, honestly, will be very hard to find me because my name is 2 letters. So if you search up Vi Blackwater, you will find my music.
Oh, and by the way, we're saying Vi as in like a V and an I.
Yeah.
Please don't search BI, okay? The other thing that I wanted to say, because I think we've been through everything. Your first album, we talked about your drive. I was gonna ask you, why did you do your second album? I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. You love what you do.
Yeah.
We talked about how we met. We did our first music video, and then
I met you twice before that, though. You just don't remember.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
When and how?
Hey, first time I ever met you, but we didn't really talk. You were with Jester at People. You came to a show I'm pretty sure I was performing at.
Yeah.
Or I was there. Do you remember that?
I remember that. It's the only time I've ever been to People.
Yeah, it did. So I met you there, and then at ELE Festival, you and Joey came out of nowhere and just started talking to me and Holly.
Yes, I remember
literally
that
out of nowhere. So weird.
Oh, I don't want to put words in my mouth because I really don't remember. I want to say I looked at Holly and I was like, damn, she looking good. Because, Holly, she's very cute. Not gonna lie.
I know you love Holly.
Yeah, she's so cute and she's so nice. Her voice too. She's just yeah. She's
yeah,
nice.
I know you love Holly. Very nice lady.
She's
First
a nice
time I
lady.
think you really fell in love with her though was our video shoot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because we started just talking, and it was more personal, not in a setting where it was like concert. And you know what? That's so funny because I can remember all of those, but I can't picture you. Like I can't picture like the exact like me seeing you and talking to you. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if you were like wasted or no. I don't know. It was funny.
At the festival, I definitely had some drinks beforehand. I was pre-drinking with Joy, and we were under the idea that, hey, this might not be a very good show, but we might as well just have fun. So we went there, and we're like literally dancing and bouncing and just seeing people and all of that. We see you guys. Maybe that's why we're so confident in that night.
You guys are very outgoing, yeah.
Yeah. And Joey came to the first video. He promoted the music too. I promoted it too, obviously, because I was part of it. And then afterwards, it was definitely mind-blowing seeing you on stage on Bluestfest. And just me thinking, that's crazy. Just a couple of years ago, I made her first visual, and Joey.
Oh, like I'm literally like starting to cry right now. They're so cute. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, don't worry. It was just so crazy because I was like, if you think about it, it was also the last days I had in Canada, and I was like, man, I can't believe this. I definitely feel like I've made an impact in this city from like many things I could name off. Like I'm just gonna go real quick, but like for example, if you go to the Elgin Diner and you see their menu, I worked on that menu because I was working for this media design company. I took the picture that is in the first page of the menu. So that's
really?
me. Yeah. If you
go, that's legendary.
Very legendary. If you go to Notre Dame High School, which is the high school I went to, I was part of so many extracurricular programs, and one of them was named Choices. And we painted our hands of white paint, and we just like printed our hands. My hand is in that school, and I mean, just like seeing you people grow, like I was part of your journey for you to play in Bluesfest and then be this person that people recognize in the dishwasher pit of Red Lobster. Like literally, I'm just like, I can't believe I'm living this city. I feel like I'm part of it. And that's really my biggest drive why I want to go back, because that I definitely made so many memories in here. I left my print in little ways, big ways, and hopefully I'll be able to go back. I don't want to get too much attention for myself. This is definitely going to be for another podcast. But it was very nice getting back to like talking to you, hearing that your project is done lyric wise. That's really cool. We plugged all of our friends, your friends mostly. I learned how you write lyrics, and that's very cool. And what else is there to say? Is there anything that you want to add, just like to inspire people or just like get people going? You should get into a heartbreak and start writing songs, or
Yeah, I mean, like if you are, musically inclined, or if you're not, or if you want to be, you can train your brain to be that way, like if you have a passion for music, then honestly anything is possible if you just work and you put your mind to it. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true, and it's normal to have self-doubts, and like I have self-doubts about myself all the time, but you just have to, it's important how you push through and keep working and persevere, because it will be worth it one day, and you'll be very happy that you pushed through and kept working and becoming better. I don't know what else. No, I don't know what to say, but essentially that.
No, I like it. And I feel like it's just true to yourself. And that's why I wanted to hear. Just true to themselves, people that are going to inspire some other people. And it can be awkward. I mean, it's just raw. This is unscripted. And we're just going at it. Literally, we started talking, and I told you, let's do a podcast. And we're thinking about Tuesday next week. And I was like, girl, here's the thing. I already made a podcast with Joey, and my interview for this week was not happening. But also, I want this to be balanced. I want guys and girls to be part of it. So you perfectly fit in here because you're the closest, or one of the closest persons that I've worked with who's creative and has an amazing story to tell. So thank you very much for being part of my second podcast, being my second guest, and telling the story of Who Is By.
Ow, you're so cute, man. I miss you. Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure. I'm so happy to be a part of your little project, and I hope it goes well for you.
Thank you. No, this is just going to be a wrapping up. What I wanted to do in the future is definitely have these people to do some follow-ups. So keep on working hard, because I want, like, this could be like a small interview, but just like hopefully the audience grows, and by the time that you drop your next album, I would like to have you back and just say like, hey guys, so like if you guys haven't heard the first interview, I was the second one, just so you guys know. And also I'm dropping a new album, and I want you guys to listen to it, and that's why I'm making this interview.
Amazing. I will be there. The plan.
Okay, sweet. So the only thing I'm gonna ask you for now is obviously promote it, promote this interview, get like your friends to hear it, and I'm just gonna promote also your social media and all of that. If you guys like this podcast, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm working towards having this on Spotify. If you guys don't want to see our faces, just put it on YouTube, and then almost close your computer so you don't have to see ourselves, and
just turn the brightness all the way down.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys are gonna be golden. Thanks for watching. This is gonna be my goodbye, and bye's goodbye. Tori's
goodbye. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Peace out.